Hello and welcome to the ProTipster Football Show. Today I'm joined by ProTipster Martin and ProTipster Dan, and we're going to take a look at this weekend's Premier League fixtures, along with the best of the Championship and some of the top games played in Europe. The weekend starts here, baby, so let's give it more kick than a Patrice ever warm-up. Gentlemen, Daniel, Martin, how's it going?
Yeah, not bad. I like that little intro.
You like that? I've been working on these. Do you like them? I think we're going to go down that route.
Apparently, Evra's only got a one-match ban initially, so obviously that's going to change once they look into it a bit more. But yeah, that was mental.
Yeah, I can't believe it. It all started because the away fans were giving him jip. Apparently, he's not been playing well this season, but him taking selfies of himself in the stands and stuff like that. But it might just be him loving the game, you know.
It's bad form though. It's a very strange ban. Well, look, lads, we've a busy program ahead of us. Let's get into this. Our game of the week that we've been previewing on ProTipster.com is Chelsea Manchester United. Dog, sorry, apologies. Martin, let's start with you. What's of value? Well, first of all, what do you see happening in the match?
Well, I think these are always pretty tight games to call. It's for me, I've gone for Chelsea at 2.43 straight off the bat. Just thought I'd get that out there. And the reason I've gone for that is the fact that one man makes a big difference, and N'Golo Kante is set to return after obviously being injured for a while. And I think it's just going to make a massive, massive difference to the Chelsea side. Jose Mourinho's going to come with a game plan. Would he park the bus? Probably. He always does. We saw it against Liverpool. He ground out a 0-0 there. But I think Chelsea have got a little bit more about them, and they're going to cause United a few problems. I think they're both going to probably set up exactly the same formation-wise, to be honest, with, three at the back, two wing-backs, probably two centre defensive mid to midfield with one up front and, two guys playing off the main lone striker. But yeah, Conte's obviously in a bit of bother at the minute. There's rumours going around that Abramovich wants to get rid of him. Not sure how true that is, but I certainly think it's a game Chelsea must win if they're going to keep any sort of pressure on at the top, because City are running away with it. And United, if they get anything out of this, them two will be clear at the top, to be fair. So it's a must-win for Chelsea, in my opinion, and I think they're going to win it.
Lads, before we go to Daniel for your prediction, just something I want to jump in on there. You spoke about Conte and Abramovich could pull the trigger. He hasn't looked very comfortable this season, has he? He was very much undermined when Matic was sold. So, I don't think there's a lot of love. There would be a lot of love lost if he was to walk away.
I don't think so either. I mean, obviously, I don't know what goes on behind closed doors, and it's all rumours and what I read, in the press and stuff like that. But there's something not right there, and Chelsea have had their ups and downs recently. They got obviously battered by Roma in midweek, which was a bit shocking, to be honest. Even some of the defending, I don't know if you've seen the video, but there was three of the defenders running over to one player, and then I don't know what's going on with Chelsea at the moment, but they need to bounce back, and they've got to stand up and be counted this weekend. Otherwise, Conte could be a dead man walking.
Daniel, what's your take?
See, I've gone the opposite way to Martin. I think Man U are going to win this.
Interesting.
I straight off the bat, my tip is Man U to win at 3.05. So I think it's massive odds. I agree that Conte is the key in this, and I thought it was possible he could come back. He could be on the bench in midweek, and obviously Antonio Conte has rested him. He's made sure that he's gone in for this game. But I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that Chelsea are going to be able to keep Man U out. Well, not so much keep them out, break them down. Chelsea got 2 wins in the last 5 at home. They've only scored 8 goals in the last 5 games as well. Look at Man U. You take out that Huddersfield game where they conceded 2, then conceded any other goals in their in the last 4. Apart from that, 1 defeat in the last 5 away. Mourinho, as much as the Man U fans are moaning, he's got him working. And I think we had this discussion earlier, didn't we? Whereby, would you be happy with your team grinding out 1-0 wins every week and winning the title? I would be.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'd be happy with my team grinding out 1-0 wins. You know, that'd be an improvement on what my team's doing.
The thing you've got to worry about is, Dan, Lukaku's ratio against top 6 club isn't great, is it?
Yeah, I mean, did you see what he said today about he doesn't think he's the finished article yet. He wants to improve this season. He doesn't want one season at the top and then decline. He wants to, you know, he sees himself as a player at 24 who's still improving. Yeah,
I'd agree with that. He's still young, isn't he?
But the thing is, Man United aren't just Lukaku. You know, you've got Rashford, you've got Martial, you've got behind them Mkhitaryan. You know, Matic. What a signing! I saw Mourinho say something about Matic's agent got in touch with him and said, "Do you want him?" And Mourinho said, like, Matic's agent isn't the kind to bluff. You know, he just comes out with the truth. And he said, he also wants him with his red ball. You know, duh. And he's been like the signing of the summer for me, for Man United. He's played every minute of every Premier League game, and he's key for them. And as much as I think Conte is key for Chelsea, I don't think he's going to be enough. And I honestly am backing Man U to win this. Now, it comes down to value, and I think Man U are massive value at 3.05. The safe bet in this game has got to be under 2.5 goals, and I think it's pretty short. I think it was about 1.6 last time I looked, but that's got to be the safe bet. This is not going to be one for the ages, and it's not going to be a repeat of last year's 4-0 trouncing. But I think Mourinho is going to have the last laugh here.
Oh, I don't know. It's a tough one. Obviously, there'll be many differences of opinion. It should be a cracking game, that's for sure. But I don't know. Just looking at some stats, you know, United have actually lost the last 3 away games they've played immediately after a European fixture. So I don't know if that's going to have any sort of effect or anything. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to watch. Paddy, what do you think?
It's going to be hard for them to keep their concentration then, isn't it? Like coming back from the European game, to concentrate for 90 minutes, keeping out, you know, the likes of Hazard for 90 minutes. That's really hard to do. So, yeah, I'm the same as you lads. It's really hard to call. It's probably going to be 1-0 to either team, you know.
Yeah. Another stat that I read, I was reading. They do a load of these expected goals things. Online now and covering on Sky Sports, etc. And apparently, worryingly, in October, Manchester United allowed opponents more than double the chance quality that they created themselves.
Right.
So basically, that's kind of just saying that, well, for me, that's saying that Chelsea are going to get the better chances of the weekend, and I think they'll take them.
It's like, I mean, I don't know, have you read that book about Mourinho by what's his name, Diego Torres? Have you ever read that? It's a fantastic book, and it really gets into Mourinho's ways of doing things. Torres followed him around when he was managing Real Madrid. Basically, it really chronicled Mourinho's kind of safety-first approach. And basically what it comes down is, the less we have the ball, the less mistakes we will make. The more they have the ball, the more mistakes we will make them make.
Yeah.
It's so negative. But, you know, he wins football matches, and that's what he's there to do.
It's definitely, I think that kind of counter-attacking philosophy is quite a big thing now. I think Spurs won a winning game to like 30% possession at the moment as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think they had about that against Real Madrid or something, didn't they?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, 38%. It's definitely the thing at the moment. You know, if you can't, I think that the age of tiki-taka is dead. Thank God. I'm a big fan of like a good counter-punching, quick, rapid attacking team. You know, when you see 3 or 4 players breaking forwards and like a rapid counter-attack finishing the goal, it's already, you know, it's a fine sight. So I'm all for it personally.
Yeah, I think that's. I think it was City's goal in midweek against Napoli. One of it, I think it was their 3rd goal or something like that. Was
Sergio Aguero's goal was exactly like that. Sane was unreal.
Classic.
Look, during the week, Martin, I discussed with Dan about the captain's penalty and Mourinho not allowing him to take it. So I kind of would have been of the opinion, you know, just let him have it. It's only Benfica, you know. But what
I mean,
Well, sorry, you know what? Sorry, we'll go with Dan. Dan first. Dan.
I said.
What was your take?
My take on the video was, and it still is, that these decisions are made beforehand.
Yeah.
And you've got to go with it. You know, like Daddy Blin was second penalty taker. You've got to go with it, because if you allow emotion to cloud your judgment, that's where mistakes get made.
Yeah.
Mourinho don't do mistakes.
Yeah, I'm of the exact opinion as you, Dan. It gets decided before the game begins, and personally, I think if it was a different scenario, say they were 5-0 up, it might have been a case where he might have let Lukaku have it, but that wasn't the case. And stick to what you planned before the game and don't change it, otherwise you will come unstuck.
Lads, these are heartless. Poor Lukaku, he hasn't scored in one.
Yeah, 6-6 without a goal now or something, isn't it?
Look, I'm sure. But to be honest, I think Lukaku was bought not to be a grade A. What did they say on? What does Jamie Redknapp call these players? Top players. I don't think he was bought to be. I think he was bought to kill teams like West Brom, Swansea, Stoke, all these teams, and they'd have other players who would score against the top 4 or top 6.
The thing is, like,
I don't think he was.
When the fans are going to start getting on his back if he doesn't score soon. That's the problem.
That's ridiculous, though. I mean, it's only a month.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, though.
How long did Andy Cole go without scoring when he had his big drought? It was an awful long time. I know it was a long time ago. I don't know. Anything else? I looked up a couple of stats. If you want these, lads. 7 out of 10 home games to Chelsea have been over 2.5, but only 4 out of 10 for Man United away games. And in head-to-heads at Stamford Bridge, overs has only landed in 3 out of 10 games. So
interesting.
Yeah, that was a crazy stat. I couldn't believe that when I read it. So,
one of the stats I'd put to Dan, because he thinks United are going to win, is that Chelsea have lost just one of the last 15 home games against United in the Premier League. So, that records are there to be broken, I guess.
Yeah, remember who was right in Champions League midweek as well.
Yeah, unbelievable run.
Yeah, Dan did brilliantly in the Champions League. He was he's still talking about the Spurs win. Right, sure. We'll leave that then. We'll come back to the other Sunday game later on. Let's go to the Potters then, who are at home to Leicester City. So, what have we got here? The Potters have 2 wins, 1 draw, and 2 losses at home, while the Foxes have 1 win and 5 with 2 draws and 2 losses. So, are we looking for winners here, lads, or are goals more likely?
I mean, for me, I'd probably leave this game alone. And there's a lot of games this weekend I'd probably leave alone. Because they're just very, very close and very, tight to call. This one's the early kick-off, obviously. I think Stoke have got to sort their lives out soon. They got that win recently against Watford away, didn't they? And that kind of saved Mark Hughes, I think, because I think he was in a little bit of trouble there.
He was, yeah.
They welcome a Leicester side who are sort of finding a little bit of form now. They've won the last 2, and I think that's in big part to Damari Gray, who seems to have, I don't know, personally, I don't know why he hasn't started more regularly ages ago. I think you'd agree, Dan, being ex-Birmingham, isn't he? So
Yeah, he just signed a new deal. I think he'd only started, 12 Premier League games before signing the deal, made 39, something like 39 substitute appearances. I think he's a wonderful player and he's grown.
Yeah.
Man of the match in their last game. Away to Swansea.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Sorry, home to Everton even. I got it right.
It was Swansea before that, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was the Everton game. He was man of the match. I left this one alone. It's Stoke are a really tough one to call. I thought they would have binned off Mark Hughes ages ago, getting done 7-2 by Man City, then, like losing at home to Bournemouth. But the Watford result, I think, helped him. And
massively.
It's just, it's not one for me. Not one for me.
Fair enough. We'll move on then. So, look, next up then, Huddersfield will be entertaining West Brom in what will probably be Match of the Day's final game on Saturday night. And I saw a stat here, lads. Huddersfield have scored first in 3 out of 5 home games, while the Baggies have conceded first in 11 out of 17 away games. So, maybe that's a potential bet for Huddersfield to score first. But I don't know if there's anything else that took your fancy.
Well, this could easily be a 0-0, to be honest. Huddersfield started quite well, but they've not scored in 6 of the last 8 games. So, they're struggling to find a goal. And I thought Thomas Ince would have done a little bit better. He seems to be putting in a good shift every game, but I expected him to chip in with more assists and more goals so far, to be honest. And West Brom, well, they seem to go under the radar. Like, no one's really talking about the fact they've only won 2 of the last 19 games.
It's awful.
It's a terrible record, and away to Huddersfield, it's going to be difficult, and I can't separate the two sides. So, I normally leave these kind of games alone, but if I am going to have a bet, if I don't know what's going on, I always go down the middle and go for the draw.
Yeah, I talked last week that my friends back in West Brom that they all hate. I think I mentioned they all hate Tony Pulis. They're won in 9 games. Yeah, I said that Man City were going to crucify him, and West Brom managed to score twice and ruin my bets. But yeah, I can't bet on them. This is just one of those games where you just don't touch. Because I don't know if there's value anywhere.
It really could go either way, couldn't it?
Yeah, I mean goals maybe you go under 2.5, but even that I don't think you're going to get any value in. If you can bet on West Brom to score from a free kick or from a set piece, then maybe I'd go for it. But otherwise, but I honestly think West Brom loses. I mean, I know that the West Brom owner Gashwan Lai has said nothing, and the chairman's an English guy called John Williams, I think. Okay. And he said nothing, but I think Pulis could be under a lot of pressure. If they lose this one, he could go because like these are the sorts of games you need to win if you're going to stay up. And West Brom, their aim every season is to finish 17th.
Yeah, they got Chelsea next as well, haven't they?
Yeah, they got Chelsea next, and then Spurs away.
No.
So 2 tough games coming up. This is a game they need to win.
Yeah.
Tony Pulis could have a very happy Christmas then if he's at home. Let's move on then to Newcastle and Bournemouth in a match that would probably rival Huddersfield and West Brom for endurance watch of the weekend. Jermaine Defoe is not scoring, and you can hardly see him scoring against a fairly solid Newcastle back 4.
I don't know. He's scored in his last 3 visits to St James's Park, right?
Oh, has he? No, that's a nice stat, Martin. That's good.
He does like it. Well done. So, and his next goal will be his 200th in the league. So, not in the Premier League, but just in league football. So, they won. Bournemouth also won at St James's Park the last time they went there in last year, 2016. And I've actually gone. I've gone for a sneaky Bournemouth win. I just think there's a little bit of value there at 3.92. They've got a great. They just might have turned a corner. Yes, they're 19th. They got a great win recently away to Stoke, who admittedly aren't in great form themselves. But I don't know, just something about Eddie Howe and the way his team's set up. I think Newcastle will allow Bournemouth to play from the back, and I just think they'll sneak it.
That's an interesting bet. I'm just looking right now at the Asian handicap line, and you can get Bournemouth plus half a goal, which is basically Bournemouth not to lose.
Yeah,
1.87.
Oh.
And I'm tempted. I am tempted because that to me says, I mean, I'm not sure if Bournemouth will win or not, but I think they'll give Newcastle a good game.
The only stat that I read that scares me is that Rafa Benitez has lost just once in his 58 home Premier League games he's played on a Saturday.
Oh, that's an insane stat. Where are you getting all these? These are gorgeous.
I think I got to thank Opta for that one. I think.
Yeah, so you just taught me out. I'm not touching that one. You just taught me out. Well done.
Everyone has just closed on portal now. Not touching that. Thanks, Martin. You just saved lots of people lots of money. Well done. I think we'll move on into Southampton Burnley. What have I got written down here? I have a couple of things actually. So, sorry.
No, you carry on. I was just going to say I've actually got a tip on this one.
Yes, I have actually.
Okay.
Shall I tell you what I've gone for, Dan? Dan, I have gone for Burnley plus 0.5 on the Asian handicap at 2.30.
You know what? Shockingly, Martin, I've gone for exactly the same.
Really? I just think Southampton are way too short considering what they've done at home recently. They've struggled to score. I know, Burnley haven't. I think they've won once there in a ridiculous amount of visits, 15, 16 or something silly, but they're just a different side this season under Dyche, and I think they're playing really well home and away, and their defensive pairing at the back, for me, is right up there with the best in the league at the moment, quite honestly.
Yeah, I think Burnley, 1 loss in the last 5 in the Premier League. 1 loss in the last 5 away, whereas Southampton 1 winning 4 at home, 1 win in the last 5 in the Premier League. And this could be Sean Dyche's swan song as well for Burnley.
Yeah, do you reckon he'll go to Everton or something like that?
I think he'd be a mug too. I really do. Yeah. I think sometimes, you've got to know when you're in a good gig, and he's in a really good gig at the moment. Burnley's a great little, great team for him. But yeah, Burnley plus a half, 2.30. I can't believe how long that is. That just screams value to me.
Yeah,
I think it's the first bet I made this week, I think. So
there's a fair few journalists seem to be pretty sure though that Dyche is going to leave. I still can't believe that he would. Why would anyone take over Everton at this moment? It's beyond me.
I don't know. It's one of those, people look at the history of the club and they probably see it as it can't get any worse at Everton. So the only way they can go is up. So I don't know. I think he'd do a great job. I think if he went to Everton, I actually rate Sean Dyche as a manager very, very highly, and I'd take him at West Ham to be honest. But there's rumours there was rumours today about bloody David Moyes replacing Bilic, was a bit odd.
Oh no, you don't want that.
But I agree. I think Dyche should be mad to leave Burnley, but I think he could. I think he could. There's only so far Burnley can go, and I think he's quite an ambitious guy.
It's interesting you say about David Moyes, because he nearly came to Birmingham City, and I kind of wish he did.
Yeah, you might not be in the situation you are now if you did.
Yeah, I'm not happy with Steve Cotterill. I never really wanted him, but I wanted him more than I wanted Harry Redknapp. But there you go.
All right then, Swansea and Brighton, and what I've written down here is no stats of interest at all.
Yeah, that sums up my feeling for that game.
Yeah, so I think we'll just skip by it then and go straight to West Ham Liverpool.
I don't know. I've got a pretty good stat for the Swansea game.
I'll go for it. Come on then, hit me, Martin.
Right, they've lost to Newcastle at home already this season, Swansea. And they've never lost 2 home games against a promoted side in a single season before.
Oh, it's just a thing of beauty. That's
so make of that what you will, but it'd be interesting. As much as I've probably left this alone, and if I was going to dip into it, I might be looking at both teams to score at 1.99, which I think is pretty good. But yeah, I think Tammy Abraham and Pascal Gross are the 2 decent players to look at in this game, and if they're on fire, it could be quite high scoring.
Yeah, maybe so. You would hope there'd be some goals anyway. Otherwise, match of the day tomorrow night is going to be incredibly boring.
It is.
So we'll move on then to your boys, West Ham then, Liverpool.
Yeah,
I found a nice stat here. West Ham have conceded first in 6 out of 8 home games against top 6 teams, while Liverpool have scored first in 11 out of 17 away matches. I did see something from head-to-heads as well. 7 out of 10 games, home games for West Ham have been overs, and obviously home games for West Ham is a stupid thing to say. 7 out of 10 previous head-to-heads at West Ham have been over 2.5. I'll rephrase that. But both teams to score has only landed 5 out of 10 times. As our resident hammer, Martin.
I mean, it's another heart over head moment. If speaking from my head, we're going to get embarrassed, I think, at the weekend. I think Klopp come out and said that Sadio Mane is probably going to be fit as well, which isn't great news for us considering Zabaletta's suspended, Sam Byram's injured, which means we may stick Antonio at right back, but I've heard that he's got a knock as well. So we haven't got a right back at the moment, which means that Kouyaté might play there, which is not the best news in the world. And, Jose Font's got a knock. Winston Reed's struggling. Collins is still struggling. So we might even have to play an 18-year-old Declan Rice at centre-back, which would be even worse. So, yeah, it's not. I'm not looking forward. I'm going tomorrow. It's the late kickoff, isn't it? So yeah. I'm not looking forward to it at the moment. But with fingers crossed, we will see. Watch out for Daniel Sturridge. If he starts, he always seems to score against us. So it might happen again.
So I've got more faith than you. I've got more faith in the Hammers than Martin has.
what are you thinking is going to happen? Considering we got battered 4-0 last season.
I've gone West Ham +1. And the reason being is I've been pretty hard on Liverpool of late, but I don't know. I just look at that back line and, you know, Dejan Lovren is probably going to be out. And, like, I actually feel for him. Like, some of the stuff that's come out about him and the abuse he suffered.
Yeah, it's horrendous.
You know, if you're a Liverpool fan, you've abused Dejan Lovren with death threats and tried to break into his house, give your head a wobble. You know, like you've now got Clavan in the centre. Like the skills videos. I don't know if you've seen them on ProTipster Twitter, but the Clavan showboat is something to be seen. No Coutinho. Yeah. Wijnaldum's out. He got injured in midweek.
Yeah.
So they've still got these defensive problems. Liverpool could score a hatful, but I just got a feeling West Ham might as well. I think this one's going to be a game of goals, and I've got a little bit of hope in West Ham. And +1, the odds are crap, 1.82. So yeah, I'm probably being mugged off here, but I've just got a feeling. That Liverpool are not going to mully you as much as you think they are.
I mean, it's going to go one of two. We'll win it or they'll win it. It certainly won't be a draw, because I was reading there's not been a draw in this game at Upton Park or the London Stadium for 16 years. So either Liverpool are going to win it or West Ham are going to win it. But yeah, I saw that Liverpool conceded the most.
Back?
Yeah, whether he'll start or not, I don't know. But he'll have a point to prove, obviously, because he always feels that he never really did anything at Liverpool and he got ushered out before he could prove himself. So.
Full disclosure, gentlemen, I don't think I've told you that I'm actually a Liverpool fan in my English team.
Are you?
I was afraid to tell you the first time I spoke to you, Martin, because I know in England it's much more tribal.
Oh, that's all right. I've got no real hatred towards Liverpool. It's all right. Don't worry. Apart from 2006, where we should have won the FA Cup, but that didn't happen because of some certain unbelievable legend that you guys had.
I'm disappointed.
I'm sorry, Daniel. I'm sorry.
Disappointed.
But you know, I do have much more love for my local team, like Katowice, if I'm honest. You know, something like last weekend, lads. I want to talk about this as well. The whole Klopp-Wagner bromance. It was so over the top, wasn't it?
They do go way back, to be fair. So it was nice to see, I think.
So now I'm being heartless.
Yeah, you are being heartless, I think, Paddy.
We have a question on the live chat.
Oh, go on.
Is Atsu a good option? Asks Pranay Pansari.
Christian Atsu for Newcastle. I think he is a good option. I don't know what he means in option, as in should he put him in his dream team or should he back him to score? Or, but yeah, he's certainly a decent player. Him and Matt Ritchie are doing quite well this season, I think.
Okay. Do you think he could score, or?
It's a tough one. I think he could definitely chip in with an assist. He's got a lot of pace, but I think Bournemouth defenders have also got a lot of pace. So whether he'll score or not, I don't think he will. But he could certainly assist a goal.
Okay, so there we go. That's an answer to your question.
I'm still licking my wounds here that I've been put in my place with the Klopp-Wagner bromance. Do you want to move on then to Spurs and Palace?
We can do. It's a case of how many for this one again, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, me personally, I'll get straight to it. I've gone for Spurs minus 1.75 at 1.75. So Spurs to win by 2 or more. Dele Alli's in great form, as we saw against Real Madrid. He's kind of got back into shape, which is good to see for an England point of view. Harry Kane's back, fully fit by the looks of it. I just can't see. All right, Palace did well against us. We nearly beat them, to be fair, but they battered us. And Zaha, I was very impressed with Wilfried Zaha. And as much as I think they'll give it a go, I can't see them getting anything out of the game against Spurs, to be honest. Spurs won the last 4 against Palace. Palace haven't. I know it's at Wembley now, but Palace haven't scored in the last 4 away to Spurs, and I don't think they've scored away from home at all yet this season. So I don't see that changing. Yeah,
I've actually gone harder. I've gone Spurs -2.
Okay.
2-3. Harry Kane doesn't score that many against Palace. He's only got 2 in 7 appearances against them. But what price that he gets, 2 or 3 tomorrow?
Yeah.
You look at Palace, they're conceded 4 away to Man U, 5 away to Man City. They do not like playing these big teams. They have been getting ripped apart. And I think Spurs showed against Real Madrid that, that they've got some real class about them, even against a team that is, seen as good as Real Madrid, and who had the bulk of possession. And they could have had more. They could have had more than 3. That's the ridiculous thing.
Mm. They played Real Madrid at a good time, I think, as well, though.
Yeah, well, yeah, there is that. But I honestly think this is, like you say, it's going to be a case of how many.
Yeah. Who do you reckon's playing at right back for Spurs this weekend? Would you stick with Trippier?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I think he's a great player. I think he's suffered a little bit being in Cole Walker's shadow before he went to Man City.
Yeah.
But now Walker's gone. Trippier, he's in the England team as well, isn't he? So, did you see this thing about how good Pochettino and Guardiola have been for English developments?
Yeah, it was a great article, wasn't it?
Yeah. Definitely.
The article was linking back to their hero, Bielsa. And I mean, as an Irishman, I'm well jealous of what's going on in the English, the underage. These are world champions in under 17, isn't that right? Under 20 as well. And I watched the under 21s here, Poland, and they lost to Germany in the semi-final shootout. And it's impressive how good the underage English teams are. So there's a lot coming through. I think Dele Alli has got to be head and shoulders above the rest of the men. And Harry Winks as well is coming in.
Yeah, he's coming through. It'll be interesting to see how many players that have won these competitions at under 20, under 17, under 19 level actually go on and break through into the first team in the Premier League, because I don't know, I just worry for some of them that although they could be good enough, they're just not going to get that chance.
We have another question on live chat from Chika Osua. I think I got your name right. I hope so. Is Harry Kane really fully fit?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you would have seen it in midweek if he wasn't fully fit, because you can't risk a hamstring injury because it will just go again. And he looked 110% in midweek, and he'll be fully fit for the weekend for sure.
Well, it's not just that; it's before the international break as well, so there's no reason holding back.
Yeah.
It's only the friendlies. So it's not like we even need him in competitive internationals for England. So, I think he'll be ready to go, raring to go.
It's just on the England question then. Is Southgate, is he going to experiment much? Because, I mean, when I look at Southgate, I see a fairly conservative manager. I don't see him taking a lot of risks.
I mean, I do as well. However, I was very surprised by the latest squad. I think it was Loftus-Cheek, Abraham, and Joe Gomez. They're all coming to potentially make their debuts in the friendlies. And if he continues doing that sort of thing, then I'm all for it. But I'm with you, Paddy. I think Southgate is a little bit of a reserved manager, and I don't know if he's right for England. I don't know. I don't see the passion there. But maybe he just doesn't show it enough. Maybe he's got the passion, but he just doesn't show it externally enough. But I don't know. I'm yet to be convinced with England, especially over the last few years. So
I have to be honest. I'm not a fan of Southgate at all. I don't know if you've seen the comics that David Squires draws in the Guardian, but he always depicts Southgate as the kind of guy who posts motivational quotes on LinkedIn about synergy and strategy, and just nails it for me.
Brilliant.
That's exactly how I see Southgate. I was mildly surprised to see 3 debutants in the squad, but you say he's a reserved manager. I say he's a reserve manager. I don't think he's good enough.
Ooh, burn.
Yeah,
I agree. He kind of lucked out to get that job anyway, I think.
Yeah, so too. Right, we'll get back to the Premier League then. Let's have a look at Manchester City versus Arsenal. Dan and I, we spoke about this in a video that's up on YouTube. We mentioned that over 2.5 has landed in 8 out of 10 home games for City and 8 out of 10 away games for Arsenal. And over 3.5 has landed in 6 out of 10 home games for City and also 6 out of 10 for Arsenal. I suppose, lads, you'd be looking at over 3.5 here.
Well, yeah, potentially. City are just too good this season. How good are they? I actually tipped Napoli in midweek to potentially beat Man City, but they've proved me wrong. They stepped up to the mark where I didn't think they maybe could, and they just look like a complete team, and no one's getting near them. I mean, Sterling, come on, Sterling's in double figures already. Yeah. I mean, he's making people play out of their skin. It's ridiculous. 20 goals in the last 4 home games. Aguero's got 5 and 7 against Arsenal, so I expect him to score again this weekend. There's goals coming from here, there, and everywhere. And there'll be a lot of goals. I think over 3.5 might be the way to go. But it wouldn't surprise me if all of those 4 goals or so were for Man City, because Arsenal do have a rubbish record against big 6 teams.
Yeah, Arsenal's defence ain't great either. I mean, that game against Everton where they won 5-2.
Yeah.
I was on the video in midweek, and I said about Petr Cech, what was he doing for the second Everton goal? What was he doing? But I backed Man City midweek. I've been on the Man City hype train for some time. And they were I watched the game, they were phenomenal. Like the third goal, they just broke. And I would say Aguero got a little bit lucky because Sane was tackled, the ball just broke to Aguero and he smashed it home. But how many teams do you know, closing out a 3-2 win in the Champions League, will go and chase and get a 4th goal, which is exactly what Man City did.
Yeah.
Guardiola's got them playing phenomenal football. I love the stat. Gabriel de Jesus has not lost a game yet he's played in. Yeah, that's just unreal. It's just, and you look at him. You look at the front 3 that Man City can put forward. They've got an abundance of riches. They can rotate through players. They can change things around. And then the players behind them. David Silva wasn't in the team in midweek, I don't think.
No, I don't think it was.
He didn't start. He certainly didn't start.
Yeah, he come on for like 20 minutes, I think.
Yeah, you got De Bruyne. You've got Bernardo Silva. Fernandinho scoring goals, for Christ's sake. Otamendi got his first Champions League goal. I read somewhere John Stones has a better conversion record for goals to shots in the Champions League than Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, he does.
And I read as well he has more goals in the Champions League than Roberto Baggio.
It's unreal, isn't it? I went Man City -1.5 at 2.03. I think it'll be a 3-1 win. But I honestly, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to watch this one. Man City are just a joy to watch. And to be fair to Arsene Wenger, I know a lot of people don't like him. He's actually came out and said today that Man City are already one of the great Premier League teams. This Man City team is one of the great Premier League teams. He's acknowledged it. He's been honest in saying that they're that good. And I don't think that's...
Has he kind of said that a little bit to cover his own back for when they get battered at the weekend?
Probably. I mean, did you see what Southgate said about Jack Wilshere? Because Arsene Wenger said Jack Wilshere's really fit, should be in the England team. And Southgate came out and said, well, maybe he should be in the Arsenal team first.
That's true. Well, it's true.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm on the Man City hype train, very much so.
Yeah, agreed. And the fact that Arsenal have got 17 points from a 45 available away in 2017, which isn't great.
You know, so good. What I like about them is that they're not like Bayern or Barca team. They're not as mechanical as they were. You know what I mean? They're much faster. He's adapted to the English game because he's realised there's a lot of kick and rush in the English game. So he's had to adapt to that, and he has really successful, spookily successful. They're amazing.
Yeah. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I think another thing that's going to go against Arsenal this weekend is the fact that they love to play football themselves as well, which I think will play right into City's hands.
Yeah.
You can't see Wenger parking the bus, can you?
No, definitely not.
He knows how to. The last Sunday game then is Everton and Watford. And what have we got here? Watford are missing Troy Deeney, but I also read as well that in fairness, stats show that they do better without him.
Interesting. Yeah, it wasn't nice what he did to Joe Allen, was it?
No, it was nasty.
Yeah, I haven't really touched this one. It's another one I can't call, even though Everton are dire. I'll probably go down the middle if I had to and go for the draw.
See, I disagree. I've gone for this one. I
bet you've gone for Watford.
Yeah, Watford draw no bet, 2.48.
Yeah, that's good.
To me, it's a value bet. You know, it's not one I'm going for because I think it's like a cert. It's one because I look at it and draw no bet 2.48 is too long. Watford have got one away defeat this season, which was against Chelsea, and they didn't deserve that. Everton have lost, I think it's three in their last 5 at home. Lost 5 and 5 in all competitions. I don't know if you saw the Olympic Lyonnais game, but they were dreadful.
That was awful. Yeah, I did watch that.
I mean, okay, it might not have been their first team. You know, they didn't play a striker, but and I think Untuas come out and said today that this is an important game for like his chances of getting a job. I'll tell you now, David Unsworth, you ain't getting it.
No, that's definitely not getting it. Watford draw no bet 2.48. It's a value bet. It's one of those where I wouldn't put a massive amount on it, but I think it's got a good chance of winning. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it'll really show if they're wanting Unsworth to remain as manager tomorrow. They'll probably just roll over and die because they don't want him.
A pretty easy option financially, just to give him the job full time, but they've spent enough money already. What's another few billion on another manager?
Exactly. Right, we'll move on then quickly to the Championship. And Wolves are playing Fulham tonight, and I will reveal that I have actually put a whole €5 on Wolves to win this one.
I can't believe their price. I mean, I got them, I think it was a couple of days ago at evens, 2.0, and I don't know why they're that high. They're an unbelievable price. They're in great form. He's got Nuno Santo's got them working wonders there. I fully expect Wolves to be there or thereabouts and probably get promoted at the end of the season. I mean, Fulham struggled recently against Bolton to get a home win against them. They nearly lost it 1-0. I think they scored in the 94th, 95th minute to get a draw there. And a stat is Fulham have conceded at least 3 goals in each of the last 6 games against Wolves.
Ooh,
so
nice.
It was 4-4 last season, which is a bit of an amazing game. But yeah, I can't see Fulham getting anything out of this personally.
Well, it's hard to see, Anthony. Anything else from the Championship, lads, you'd like to mention?
Yeah, stick your house on Birmingham City to lose on Saturday.
Why? What's happened, Daniel?
So I let my head rule my heart last week, and I said that I thought we'd beat Brentford, and we didn't. I did say that it would be under 2.5 goals, and I was right about that, but we were worse than dreadful. Sorry, it was midweek, wasn't it? We were worse than dreadful. Probably our best attacking player, which is really bad because he's only played 3 Championship games, Isaac Vassell, has an ACL injury. Maxim Kolan, first choice right back, has an ACL injury.
Wow.
Players, to give you an example, Thomas Kuszczak, who plays in goal for us at the moment, because our first choice goalkeeper broke his hand in a training ground fight. Thomas Kuszczak was getting pelters from the crowd behind him for like kicking it out into touch every time he took a kick, and he turned around and sarcastically applauded them halfway through the first half. It is not a happy camp. It's really toxic. We've got injuries all over the show, and Barnsley are 2.40 to win.
Wow.
Sticky mortgage on it, honestly. It hurts me to say this, but we're going down. If we don't improve rapidly, we are going down.
Do you not think there's worse teams than you in the Championship, no matter how bad you are?
Sunderland, Bolton, that's it. And there's 3 spots.
Yeah, good point.
You know, when I've got, I wasn't able to watch the game in midweek, but obviously I'm in contact with lots of Birmingham City fans, and not one of them had something positive to say. Yeah, we hit the. I think Michael Kifton-Belt was probably one of the 2 rays of sunshine. He hit the bar with a rasper from 30 yards. And maybe it wasn't a penalty. Morrison, you know, shouldn't have been penalised. But you know, if my auntie had testicles, she'd be my uncle. So you know, I can't. And when your 2 best players are the left back that everyone's derided for years, and the central midfielder that we thought we'd sold to Derby, but he'd filled in the transfer form wrong, you're in a lot of trouble. You're in a lot of trouble, and so it really pains me to say this, but yeah, back Barnsley, 2.40. It's a license to print money.
Well, I might just do that.
Yeah.
There's another one you had pointed out to me during the week, Daniel. Norwich away to Bolton. Norwich have a really strong away record. They have 4 away wins in a row now, and while Bolton have only one home win this season. So Norwich look good at 2.09. I see them for here.
Yeah, Bolton are one of 2 teams I think who are worse than Birmingham City at the moment. They're in wretched form. They've got troubles off the pitch as well, which isn't helping them. And Norwich, I've got a mate who's a Norwich fan, and he said that away from home, under like they've got this German guy in David Farker. And he wasn't sure at first, but he said he's really got them playing nice football, and especially away from home, they're actually really decent. So, you know, it's one of those where, you know, you've got a crowd that are a bit toxic at the Reebok, maybe they're getting the players' backs. And yeah, I'd definitely go with Norwich in that one.
Yeah,
definitely.
It sounds like pretty good value. I think the only thing I think Bolton, obviously, bottom of the league, but Sammy Omiobi, he's probably their saving grace. If he has a good game, then maybe they can get something out of it. But I know they're missing Andrew Taylor still, Lafondra's still injured. So, yeah, I think it's a good price, Norwich, to be honest.
Okay, lads, anything else from the Championship, or will we move on? I have one match.
Nothing really from the Championship. I mean, I'm not going to bet on Bristol City Cardiff, but have you seen why Bailey Wright's been banned for Bristol City?
This is insane. Yeah, please tell us. Yeah.
Oh, it's basically Bailey Wright's been given a 2-game ban for simulation, and you see the video from midweek. The guy comes over to him and shoves him to the ground. And, okay, he probably does go down holding his face a little bit when he doesn't really get pushed in the face. But, yeah, to be banned for 2 games for that is, I think it's a bit harsh. So, yeah, it's a bit of a strange one.
Yeah, it was Bristol City. They really did go for it in their statement, didn't they? They really did lay into the FA.
Yeah.
About it. And, you know, you don't do that sort of thing unless you're really, really aggrieved. Exactly. One thing I like about Bristol City, don't know if you follow them on Twitter, but their goal celebration gifts
their gifts are unbelievable.
Best. They are the best thing on Twitter of a Saturday afternoon. Follow them, BCFC tweets.
Yeah.
So that's my tip for Twitter for the week.
Good. All right. Well, look, that wraps up our Championship then. There's one. We've only really time for one game from Europe I wanted to talk about. Dortmund are taking on Bayern in their Classic R. And so here are some interesting stats. Bayern are unbeaten in 29 of the last 32 away games, while Dortmund have only 2 wins to their name from their previous 6 matches. And Bayern are priced at over evens here, and it's looking very tasty as well. And it's all going to change in the Bundesliga this weekend, because with this match, first they're playing second and third are playing fourth when Red Bull Leipzig are taking on Hanover. Am I wrong here, lads? Should I not back Bayern? What would you do?
No, I think you're right. I think you're spot on. You know, Dortmund, yeah, they started very, very well, but struggling of late. Lost to Leipzig. You know, struggled against Eintracht Frankfurt as well. Obviously, got battered by Hanover and couldn't beat Nicosia midweek either. And they're certainly not going to park the bus. They're not doing a Jose Mourinho because they just don't. They're not that kind of team. They just don't do that. And I think that will allow Bayern Munich to, potentially win quite comfortably.
Yeah, I'd back Bayern as well. I saw a stat. Lewandowski, obviously, ex-Dortmund player, loves going back. Scored 8 times in 12 games against Dortmund since he moved to Bayern Munich. Thomas Müller could be back as well. Came back into training on Thursday after a hamstring injury. Yeah, I'd be all over Bayern for this one.
Yeah. I can't remember many games where Bayern. I can't remember the last time Bayern were above evens for a game.
Oh, it's a long time ago. Yeah. It's a great price for them. Right, lads. I have one more European question. In less than 10 seconds, Daniel, will Zidane survive? Will he survive a fortnight?
Maybe.
Martin, what do you think?
Yeah, they'll survive. They got Las Palmas on Sunday. They'll batter them, and then obviously international break. So that's 2 weeks or so, isn't it? So yeah, it'll come down to they'll beat Las Palmas, and then obviously they got Atletico Madrid away next. So if they lose that, he could be gone.
Okay.
There you go.
Very good. Right, we'll wrap up then, lads. Martin, can you tell us where we can find you on Twitter?
Yes, you can find me at ProTipsterM on Twitter. Give me a follow and. Follow my tips as well because they're not too bad.
Daniel, where can we find you?
ProTipster Dan, follow me. As nailed it midweek, 5 Champions League tips.
You did. You showed me up.
And you can follow me as well, ProTipster IRL, where I mostly tweet out stuff from the Irish Times, if I'm totally honest. But anyway, look, thank you everyone for listening. This podcast will be available on iTunes and Android podcast apps very soon. Check out protipster.com for some amazing football tips and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily videos, previews and podcasts. Have a great weekend of football, everybody. Goodbye.